Hey, welcome to another Tip Tuesday. I'm Mercedes Pallmeyer with Modus Athletica. So last week I talked about how important it is to use video analysis in order to make your technique just a little bit better. So I wanted to elaborate on that in this video. So I'm gonna go over 3 tips to look at when you're reviewing your video for video analysis. The goal is to make this as simple as possible. When you look at video and try to analyze your movement, you can really go down a rabbit hole and look at so many different things, but really it comes down to the big 3, and we're gonna go over this using an app. So today I'm gonna be showing you some of my climbing movement using Coach's Eye. You do not need a special app for this. If you just have a regular phone app that can go into super slow-mo, you'll be able to do exactly the same things as I'm doing in this video. All right, so let's check out the top 3. Tip number 1 is all about looking at your feet and whether they're staying on before or after you're latching the hold. And so in this video, you can see that my heel is actually coming out just before I get a good grip on this next hold. We want to try to eliminate that. So my goal would be to try to pull just a little bit harder. In the next video, I actually change my foot position. I realized that the only way I'm going to be able to make my hips shift over to the side is if I switch my heel to a toe. So here, now I'm actually able to latch onto the hold. My toe is still on, and then my toe comes off. So now I'm seeing that I'm maintaining contact, but now it's after I hit the hold that my foot is coming off. And then in this last attempt, I'm gonna try to keep that in mind, try to keep that tension as I'm holding, and now I end up making it. So in 3 steps, I was able to get this very cruxy move, and you'll notice that I have so much tension on that foot, it doesn't move at all. Okay, so that's tip number 1. So tip number 2 is still looking at the lower body, but we're gonna be looking at the knee joint and whether the hips are fully extending or not. When we make dynamic moves, we really have to press and extend through the lower body. So this is one clip of me actually failing in this kind of bigger dynamic move. And you'll see that I actually don't complete the press with my leg. So I'm pushing, but I stop right there. So I haven't even really hit the hold yet. And I start coming away because my leg is still pretty bent and my hips are coming away from the wall. So I've lost my tension as I'm going for that hold. Tip number 3 is about finishing the movement. So in this video, I'm gonna show you how I don't complete the move in my upper body before letting go of the hold. When we make dynamic moves, especially if they're really big moves, we want to pull as hard as we can for as long as we can before letting go. So here you can see I hardly even pull with that right hand. I just go straight up and my left is doing most of the work. It doesn't really get to bend because all of my weight is on my left arm. Now I'm going to repeat this move, but I'm gonna make sure that I'm gonna pull with both arms and just a little bit longer. And now you can see my left arm is really pulling quite a bit more. So my right helps me pull in, and I'm letting go much later in order to make this move. So now I'm basically floating as I come up. And you'll also notice that this bottom leg, I'm also fully extending. So that goes back to tip number 2. Go into full extension in order to make the move. So those were the big 3 tips that I would give you anytime you're reviewing your own movement while you're climbing. So next time you go project, take some video. See what you can glean from this information. It could just come down to one of these very simple ideas of keeping your foot on, of extending a little bit more through your leg, and completing the movement. So give it a go, let me know how it goes, and I'll see you next week.